Welcome to today's training. What does diversity look like in your organization? The objective of today's training will be to define diversity, explain why diversity is important, to explain the primary and secondary dimensions of diversity, to explain the different types of diversity, the challenges of diversity, and outline some strategies of managing diversity. How is diversity defined? Diversity can easily be defined as a group of people who bring a variety of backgrounds, styles, perceptions, values, and beliefs as an asset to a group or organization for which they all interact. Why is diversity important? Diversity is important because all people from different backgrounds, provide a specific value to an organization. We all interact, and your organization's customer base is becoming more diverse. It's easy to deal with people when you understand that they are from different places and they view things differently. Your organization also is starting to branch out and do business with people in other parts of the world who may speak a different language, see things differently. And a lot of companies now are being bought out by different organizations and different places all around the world who see things, again, differently, who speak a different language, who believe different, who look different. The primary and secondary dimensions of diversity. The first dimension of diversity, which is the primary dimension, is just simply the ages, the gender, sexual orientation, disability, race, and ethnic heritage. The second dimension goes a little further with your family status, your communication style. Some people are blind and they can't see, so they use Braille as a way of communication. Some people use sign language as sign language as a way of communication. Your organizational roles and levels. Your conversation may be different from your coworker than it would be from the CEO or manager or supervisor of your company. The first language may be different. Basically, some people first language is English, others may be Spanish. So that is a form of diversity as well. Religious belief is becoming the biggest form of diversity amongst a lot of companies and organizations, because a lot of religions have different expectations and require a little bit more leniency. Social economic status. Your work experience is a form of diversity. Some people have never worked before, and working for your company and your organization is the first job they've ever had. And some people have worked their entire lives and are really familiar with your organization and what is expected. And then you have some people who are coming off of retirement, who have worked years and years and years, retired, and for some reason have to get back into the workforce. You have geographic location, you have education. Some people have GED, high school diploma with work experience. Some people have bachelor's, master's, AA with no work experience. So that makes a big difference in your organization. The different types of diversity. Again, you have gender diversity, male, female, transgender, etc. You have age diversity, which is the baby boomers, you have your millennials, then you have culture diversity, you have sexual orientation, you have family situations, whereas there's one parent income, two parent income, you have a grandparent that works and take care of the children. You have your physical and psychological disabilities. The physical disability being missing a leg or arm, psychological disabilities being schizophrenic, depressed. Then you have your political views. Political views is a really touchy form of diversity, and personally, I think should stay out of the workplace. But for the form of training, there are people who political views trickle into the workplace. You have your Democrats, you have your Republicans, you have people who like a certain president, who don't like the president. So, the challenges of diversity. We're only going to touch on a few, but they are a lot more challenges that the profit and nonprofit organizations, public organizations undergo on a consistency. In the past, employers could control the diversity. They knew exactly what they were looking for in numbers, and they hired based upon meeting a specific quota, I should say. Now it's different. Diversity is something that employers can't control because everyone is coming from a different background, a different culture. They speak different languages. So there's no control over diversity. And that could be a challenge in a lot of organizations. A lot of management is quite unaware of whether they should try to control it or not. There are more people than there are jobs. Drifting off a little bit, that it was stated a few days ago that the unemployment rate is now under 4%. So I don't think this, going off of that information, I think that there are still more people than there are jobs. So that's a challenge in diversity, is being able to hire more diverse people in a limited job capacity. The next one is qualified employees have been scarce, leading to employers to be more flexible. Going back into the different types of diversity, a lot of employees, qualified employees in certain aspects, are afraid to apply for certain jobs, or the employers have to be more flexible in hiring when it comes to adding diversity to your organization. The next one is that there are a lot of group-based jobs now. There are a lot of jobs where you work in teams, where diversity is a big challenge, because you have to break through a lot of the barriers. You have to break through your language barrier, your work experience barrier. You have to break through those barriers. And diversity in itself can create a positive and negative conflict. To dive a little bit into that is that the entitlement. Some people coming from diverse backgrounds may feel entitled to specific jobs, may feel entitled to extra anything. And then you have the flip side to that Diversity brings newness. Diversity brings a lot of strive to your organization. So there's a two-sided coin to the last challenge of diversity. Some strategies for managing diversity is to articulate a clear diversity mission, set objective, and hold the management accountable. I can't stress this one enough because your management is what drives your mission statement. If your management doesn't have a clear understanding of the mission and the objective, then your hiring will be off, your employee performance will be off. We have to hold the management staff of the profit, nonprofit, public organization to a high level of standards. Also, to spread a wide net in recruitment to find the most diverse possible pool of qualified candidates. Management, I can't stress this enough. Stop limiting your organization when recruiting. You have to open up recruitment to everyone because your pool of diversity of qualified candidates depends on it. Identify promising women and minorities and provide them with mentors and other kinds of support. Stressing this one a little further, a lot of jobs are gender specific, so we think. We think, or it's portrayed in the past, that only construction jobs are for men, and they're not. So if we identify promising women and minorities for this employment and provide them with someone to mentor, to guide them, to provide support, then it would increase the level of diversity in an organization now and in the future. Because if the women and minorities feel that this company understands and is seeking them and appreciating them by providing them with all the support, then down the line you will have more women and minorities willing to apply for this position. And set up a diversity council that monitors the company's goals and progress of providing a diverse environment. This one is important as well because your environment helps with the productivity and performance of your employees. In any working capacity, if you don't designate a specific council for diversity, you may not see if there's a need for it. You may not see that the company has improved. You may not see where your diverse group of candidates are excelling. So you have to identify your diverse group by using a diversity council for those reasons. I would like to end this training by going over two important lessons that should have been taken away from this training, which should be that diversity is really important in any aspect, especially in the workforce. The workforce diversity can make or break your company. It's important for you to manage your recruitment openly, not closed-minded, not gender specific, not age specific, just not specific, period. In order for you to get a diverse pool of candidates, in order for you to get diversity from the primary and secondary levels of diversity, in order for you to attach yourself to qualified candidates, you have to open up your recruitment. Your management team has to all be on one point. I will also say that everyone in the organization should be valued. There should be some type of compensation for a job well done. I think that's it. Thank you for today's training, and have a great and wonderful day.